Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. I promise you that you're not going to be disappointed. We have a great presentation today. We're very excited to be able to share with you how a dealer more than doubled leads with video and paid search. It's really about David Kelleher here. He's the owner and president of David Auto. I'm going to let David share a little bit about his background.
Yeah, I'm a car dealer. I have the greatest job in the world. In 2005, I had the opportunity with money I had saved, plus some help from Chrysler Corporation, to buy my own dealership. The dealership sold 46 cars a month for the past 12 months. Before I bought it, the first month we sold 126 cars. And I fell in love with being a car dealer. We're going to talk today about some stuff we're doing that I think is on the cutting edge with my friends from Google and L2T.
Really, the most important thing is that we want to show you the proof behind that this stuff actually works at the dealership level, but then we also want to enable you with the tools to actually go back to your dealership so you can take it to your team and implement this and have similar success. Really cool story here is that David was actually doing a phenomenal job with video in general before really L2T and even Google got involved. So Google actually came after David to say, hey, you're doing some great stuff. You're using some best practices. We want to do a case study about you. So we're actually going to share that case study now, and I think it's a great start to all the other great information that we're going to share with you today.
Pump it up to it, pump it up to it.
To me, it's always been about more than selling cars. David Auto is a part of this community, and every year I invest more and more to grow it. This is my home. Over the years, I've tried virtually every approach to marketing. Gone are the days of billboards and radio and direct mail. I don't talk about price. I don't talk about events. I simply go out there and explain who I am and why I believe I'm the best choice for them, and the customers react to it incredibly positively.
We believe that video is just so important. It's the perfect way for us to connect with our customers. YouTube has allowed us to extend our reach to the right audience. We've shifted most of our budget from broadcast to digital because our buyers are younger and younger, and the best way for us to connect with them is through digital video.
The beautiful thing about YouTube is I'm speaking to the people that are interested in my message. And I think the cost per view is significantly lower than we're accustomed to paying out in the broad market. Last year, in a declining market, I increased my profits by 37% with digital and video. I spent less money and sold more cars than I have in 25 years.
I'm going to explain to you from the dealer point of view how this has worked for me over the last 18 to 24 months. And then the people who sell their stuff, they're going to tell you how they did it for me. These are the guys that do the right work. And L2T has been a remarkable partner for me. I spent less money advertising, sold more cars, made more money. That's a positive formula, right? That's one that, whether you're a dealer in this room or you're someone that works for a dealer, that's your job, is to sell more cars and spend less money doing it. So in 2015, I was spending about $125,000 a month in advertising. Real number, $125,000 a month. Of that, the breakdown was $43,000 in television, $24,000 in digital, and $57,000 in what we'll call other. Mail, newspaper, radio, billboards, silly stuff, church bulletins, all the stuff people ask you for that just makes sense, so you spend it. In 2016, you're going to see a real change. The TV went up, the digital went down significantly, and the other went down. And I'll tell you what happened. I'm going to show you about mid-year of 2015, I had kind of an epiphany, and we rebranded our whole thing. We stopped doing conventional TV advertising, which I'll give you a peek at, and we went to a branding method. I don't speak about price, and it really got successful quickly. So we allocated more money to TV. By 2017, it was working so well, and I only spent $93,000 that year. That's a savings of over $30,000. And I sold more cars. And then I went to 108 because I brought digital back into play. I met these guys. Thanks, Tom Lamax in the room. He's the head of global digital for FCA, for Chrysler. Tom and I were arguing one time, and he said, how much money do you spend on digital? I said, I'm spending about $8,000 a month on digital. He said, what? You're one of the biggest dealers in the country. How are you spending $8,000 on digital? I don't trust any of it, I said. He said, what's your problem? I said, I don't know how it works. I don't think it works for me, so I just cut it out. He said, well, we got to fix that. He said, who's your agency? I said, I don't have one. Well, how do you coordinate with Google? I said, I don't know. I pay dealer.com. I don't know. He goes, well, let's get you. So he introduced me L2T, and my life changed. And we really started to spend real money on digital. And then, as you can see, in 2018, The other is almost gone. That's one piece of credit mail we do per month, either Cap One or Chrysler Capital. That's it for other. The rest of the money is all digital and television now. These are some of the things we got rid of, and these are interesting to you. Cable TV, worthless. Just go broadcast. Third-party site listing, you know them, the endemics, the people you got to pay to sell your own car. Well, I thought I had to. And you know the companies. Again, I'm not supposed to name Cars.com. You're not supposed to say anything. But, Car Gurus, well, they're here. No, I'm not supposed to name them. I'm not going to name any more illustrators. So anyway, you know those guys. And you pay them. They take your car, the one you own, the one you paid for, and you put it out there so that they put it out there so you can sell it yourself. It's ridiculous. These guys taught me how I didn't have to do that anymore. Now I just sell my own car. I do their job. And I come up first in listings because, gosh darn it, it's my car. I come up before they do. They taught me how to do that. I got rid of it. The marketing agencies, they get 10% for everything they do and don't get you that great a deal. They're gone. Website provider, SEO. Don't do your, well, I'm not going to say it. Do your SEO with who you want to do. For me, I was doing it with my website provider. They're website providers. Now these guys do my SEO and we kill it. Billboards, again, I had a billboard for 8 years. I could never get rid of that billboard. I own it. It's mine. Oh my God, God forbid anybody else ever went up on their billboard. It's gone. And guess what? I didn't sell one less car. I sold more cars. Right? Nobody cared about that billboard. I go by that billboard every day. I'm so angry. I spent all that money for so many years. It's not it. That doesn't sell cars. Radio, newspapers, church bulletin, local magazines, they're all gone. Okay, so here's a graph that shows you the spending money against leads. So that $125,000 you see here, this big, huge pillar of money I spent, was getting me 252 leads a month in 2015. So you see the blue is the lead count. That's way down here. And the 125 is way up here. When we made that change, and it was a branding change, and it's crazy, and we're going to show you that. You're going to see how I changed my commercials. I'm going to take you to the old commercial that I used to do that everyone else does to the new one. All of a sudden, we jumped. This was just on branding from 252 to 432, and we spent less money, like I said. In 2017, when we really realized that this model worked, finally met these guys. We went up to 108, and the lead count jumped to 516. We went back down to 101, as I showed you, and then finally the lead count, it went past the spend. And now, last year we did 734 leads. This year I'm up over 800 leads a month right now, and I project to spend, last month we did 843 leads and 130 designated sales phone calls. And I'm only spending $97,000 a month, and I expect to table off right around there. So in 2015, I started as the 17th biggest dealer in the Mid-Atlantic Business Center. And there's 288 dealers. I was 17th. Not bad, right? Respectable. By 16, I had gone down to 13. That means one thing. I'm not interested in sales trophies. I'm interested in gaining share. When I go to 13, it means I gain share. In 17, we went down to 8th in the Mid-Atlantic Business Center. Last year, I finished as the 6th highest volume dealer in the Mid-Atlantic Business Center out of 292 dealers. And now, right now through this year, we're 5th in the Mid-Atlantic Business Center. Kind of rarefied air. It's a lot of dealers, right? And we've gained our share. Again, not interested in trophies, but I sold 2,760 cars, and the market is supposed to be flattening. Everybody's scared. A lot of people complaining. I'm up 12% this year. TV, which was a huge bear for us, 100% of the market, only accounted for 40% of television TRP views. The rest of it's digital. It's stream, it's YouTube, it's digital. Now, pre-roll gets you a view, by the way. So when you run a pre-roll view, you're actually getting an organic view, and you're marketing yourself to a customer that's targeted. This is a person that shows some interest in your car, and you're putting it in front of them. So I went to YouTube pre-roll with L2T, and they remarkably put me in a bunch of customers, and then I created something special, and I did this.
Hey, I get it. You want to watch a video, and I'm in your way. But if you're looking for a car, you might want to hang around a second. Hey, I've sold a lot of cars in 25 years doing one thing. I listen. So all you have to do is come in and talk to us. 752 new cars, 150 beautiful used cars. Whatever it is you need, I probably have it. Look, cars are commodities. I can get them. It's people I love. That's what fuels me. We listen to you. Maybe that's why I've always been your dealer. You just didn't know it.
When we got the video out into the internet and attacked that extra 60% of people, that's when it changed everything. So now you guys want to tell them how it works? Because
Sure.
I don't know.
He's shown you how it shows in sales. It increases sales, it increases traffic, it increases ultimately sales, and even better profitability. Now we're going to tell you guys what was the strategy behind it. The car shopper today is going through a pretty long journey. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but the great thing about video marketing is that we can actually touch that consumer throughout that entire car shopping process. But we know that people are on YouTube. We know that in-market shoppers, auto shoppers are on YouTube. We know that people are there. So the most important thing for a dealership, especially in this time, is that we need to make sure that your messaging, all that branding that David just talked about, we need to make sure it's in front of the right people. So that's really where YouTube is so, so powerful. But the really cool thing is that we saw the impact of all of this marketing and branding that David was doing offline and online. We saw the impact at the dealership. But the really, really cool thing is that there was actually an impact on his just overall search online. So I think that we all know that branding, offline, online, all ultimately drives traffic or search interest online, on Google. So what we want to do is we wanted to show you this is because there are thousands. So this is for the Philadelphia DMA. I mean, all you guys know, Philadelphia is one of the top cities. So there's a lot of people. There's thousands and thousands of searches conducted on a daily basis for new cars. And this shows the evolution in the last 4 years that David talked about with just his transition in strategy. This shows that evolution of how much his search, how much his name came up more frequently in ad queries in the Philadelphia DMA. So again, this is when he stopped traditional. We saw it plummet a little bit. Then we brought it back up, and there was 14% improvement in search rank in 2 years over the previous 2 years. And then we really amped it up when we started to partner with David. We weren't only doing the offline TV ads, we were also doing online video. We actually saw an increase another 11%. So as of in 2018, out of these thousands and thousands of new car searches that occur in the Philadelphia DMA, David has consistently been appearing in the top 200 searches. He's actually moved to the top 150. I think the exact number is 130 some in the top searches in Philadelphia DMA. So again, just a tremendous and powerful message here that, yeah, it helps at the dealership level, but we're also seeing the impact online.
These are real things. They're running Mercedes-Benz, right? Kia, Telluride. They're running cars. They're running car terms. There's not a lot of dealers there. I'm a single-point Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram dealer, and we show up, in the size of it shows you like kind of where it ranks. I mean, you see the endemic right in the middle there who's buying our cars and selling them for us, and I think they spend a pretty good amount of money with you, don't they? Yeah, they might. They might, yeah. I know that's proprietary information. But again, with us paying for it. But I really love that we were able to climb up with all the dealerships in the Philadelphia DMA and be one of the few that actually have their name searched in the top 150.
Yeah, and even more impressive too. So this is actual impact on David Dodge. So people actually going online and searching for David Dodge in the Philadelphia DMA. We saw a 59% increase in queries over the past 3 years. The strategy behind the success, the key points is with video advertising, you're able to strategically target the ads. You know, you don't have to waste dollars on wasted viewers or people that aren't in market to buy a car. So these are just some of the details. You know, we were efficiently targeting specific FCA intenders. In addition to that, competitor brands. We all know that one of the biggest challenges is that you're not necessarily always just losing sales to the other same brand down the street. You're losing it to the other brand across the street. That's one of the biggest challenges that dealers are seeing. So this enables us to target those people too. So we use various different types of targeting, and then also the effective creative. So these are the ABCDs of effective creative. I think Dave nails it out of the park on all 3 of these, or all 4 of these, on his videos. But I think more importantly, one of the things that we often hear from a dealer is, I don't have the resources to make a video. I don't have the money to make a video. Well, guess what, guys? I mean, you saw Dave's videos. It's very much just like him talking to the camera. They can be organic, they can be creative, and honestly, there are also other resources out there that you can make a very good video, an effective video. These are the main KPIs that us digital marketing people are gonna look at as far as success. I mean, obviously, we saw the success on the dealership level, but this is what we look at too. And I think just the key points here are over 830,000 impressions and over 400,000 views. And again, going back to that targeting, These are actually people who are in market to buy a car and buy a specific brand. And not only that, it's also targeted to very specific zip codes and areas that we know David sells cars. How many people are running television that they have to buy multiple areas just to be able to cover maybe their smaller portion? That's the power of video. You can get so honed in and so targeted. And really, you know, the view-through rate, that's another cool KPI that we use. The average view-through rate for automotive from Google, so our friends at Google, is 34.5%. Right now, David's is at 48%. But most recently, we actually just checked the numbers, and we were talking about this last night, that David actually has a view-through rate of over 80%. I don't think the Googlers here have even seen an over 80% view-through rate. So again, just it really speaks to just the power of the creative and the messaging that we're getting out there in front of consumers. And then I think just more importantly, you know, we talked about how, and David really honed in about how he has made more money and spent less on advertising. Well, why is that? When you're paying 4 cents per view on video, that's a pretty inexpensive, effective way to get your brand out there. And I think that that's key here. I mean, guys, you can get a ton of views, you can get a ton of traffic to the website, and you're not spending a ton of money. Some of the new things that we're doing in Q1 right now in 2019 is we're testing some bumper ads, and I'll tell you what those are in a minute. We're also doing some more model-specific ads and true view for action testing. So what are those things? Bumper ads is a 6-second skippable ad. You may have seen them online. Automotive has kind of been late to the game doing these. Non-skippable. And these are by cost per thousand versus cost per view. What's great about these is this is basically just teasing the idea. And I'm going to show
Can I
this
ask you
to
a
you
question?
really quick.
Why do you keep getting stuck in the snow when I've always been your Jeep dealer?
So that's the 6-second bumper ad, and then right after.
Why would you possibly still be getting stuck in snow? Right now, I have 441 Jeeps in stock that can make sure you never get stuck in snow again. And I have little Jeeps and big Jeeps and all the Jeeps that are in between. Jeeps from $20,000 all the way to $70,000. Believe me, I have the right Jeep for you. And just like that, you'll be done getting stuck in the snow or anywhere else. Because I'm David, and I've always been your Jeep dealer. You just didn't know it.
So again, 6-second teaser ad, follow up 30-second ad right after with the full message. And then lastly, the next thing that we're testing right now is the True View for Action. This is actually an ad type on YouTube that you can actually optimize the campaign based on the action that you want the consumer to take. So what's great about this is this is just specific to Ram trucks and pickups. So all the targeting is just based on pickups. The video message is on pickups. And ultimately what we want the consumer to do is we want them to click on that shop now and view all of David's Ram truck inventory online. So this is another thing that we're testing right now. We're pretty excited about it. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hand it over to my friend Angie here from Google, and she's gonna talk about all the paid search stuff.
All right, thank you. Okay, so David and Allie both just did a great job of demonstrating how you can really create a lot of the right kind of interest in your product by making that move into online video. And that's fantastic. I mean, that's what we want. We want interest. But all of the interest in the world is going to do you no good if you're not able to capture it and turn it into sales. So I'm going to bring it home for you today by talking a little bit about what Google recommends and what Dave actually did to convert your interest into sales. These are the actions that will convert into those leads and sales. So I want to hone in for a moment on that third point right there, searching more online. So when we look, for example, at how David's results look, he really increased his video presence, so he had increased his video budget, and that obviously resulted in a ton more video views. But what it also did for him was it helped him see an increase of 15% on searches for his dealership. So while video drives interest, the important thing to do is capture it. And where we can see it captured is in Search Lift. So if you see more people searching on Google after watching your video, that's how you know that that video is successful. So it's really important that when you upload a video to YouTube or another platform, that you really coordinate your efforts with search. It would really be a shame if you spent all of this time and money producing a great video, and then forgot about search. So when you upload a video, you'll want to start a search campaign that represents what you were trying to do and say in that video. So make sure that you're bidding on keywords that represent your dealership and that represent the vehicles that you're talking about in your video. Because again, if you forget about search after you run this wonderful video, then you'll generate all of this great interest, and it's possible that one of your competitors might get that interest if you're not there to capture it yourself. We're going to talk a little bit more about a new search strategy that we're really looking hard at Google, because we feel that this is the way forward for dealers to capture the best interest online. It's also a search strategy that L2T and David have been employing in order to capture the best interest for their video efforts. We call this micro moments. Has anyone heard this term? It's been going around a lot lately. Okay, a couple people. Micro moments is just talking about reaching the right shoppers at the right time. In those moments when people reach for their device to answer a question they have right then. So these are all moments when people are trying to answer a question, and you can be there to have a conversation with them. So we have actually looked at every single automotive query that exists out there on Google, and we have put them into one of 5 buckets. And I'm going to show you these buckets, which we call the micro moment buckets, and show you where you can be really playing to have the best impact. So first we have one which is called, which car is best? Now these are people who are just starting their research. Maybe they know they need a pickup truck, but they have no idea what's even out there, what the pricing is, what the payload is, anything like that. So these are people who are maybe looking for something like Ford or Honda or best new SUV. These are more generic terms. This is followed by, is it right for me moments? Now these are people who are starting to narrow down their search. Maybe they've landed on a vehicle they're interested in. They just need to know if it works for them. So these will be make model searches, things like Honda Accord or Ram 1500, and anything that features specs. Maybe someone's looking for safety features or best miles per gallon. Any searches that have features are going to be in, is it right for me? Now we're moving a little bit more down a funnel, and we've got, can I afford it moments? All right, this one's a little bit self-explanatory, right? Someone wants to know if they've found a car they like, they just want to know if they can afford it. These are going to be pricing searches. This is followed by, am I getting a deal? Now the person knows what vehicle they want, they just want to get it cheaper. So these are any searches that include deals, offers, incentives, sales event. And finally, we have where should I buy moments. And these are people who are definitely ready to pull the trigger. They just want to figure out which dealership to purchase from. So this is where it's most important for you to play, because this is where you capture that shopper or not. So this is bidding on keywords that might include your dealership name, anything with a city term, so something like Toyota Dealer Detroit, or anything that has a dealer or dealership term on it, like Honda Dealer Near Me. Now, all of these buckets are important, but some of them are more important than others, especially for dealers. And the reason is that in these buckets here, which we call the ready-to-buy buckets, this is where people are really making their decision, and they're more likely to convert or fill out a lead for you. So when you are prioritizing your search budgets, and no one has an unlimited budget, so we have to sort of pick and choose, these are the buckets that you're going to want to concentrate on, because those are the buckets that are going to give you the best results. Now, to demonstrate this a little better for you, we've sort of put this together in a chart, and I'm going to walk you through this chart because there's a lot of numbers on it. But basically, here we have the 5 micro moments, and the bottom 3, the ready to buy, are here at the bottom. Next to that, we have the breakout of impressions that these serve on Google, meaning where do most people search, right? You get a lot of impressions up here, maybe fewer here. Next to that, we have the average dealer investment across the automotive industry. So this is where dealers are currently spending their search budgets. And then we have conversion rates by bucket. So what I want you to notice here is that even though most of the impressions serve up here in which car is best and is it right for me, those aren't necessarily the best performing buckets. It's normal that there would be a lot of searches there because there are a lot of Google searches for things like car or Ford or something that's very generic and high level. However, those don't tend to convert as well because people aren't ready to buy a car at that point. Check out instead where to buy. Even though only 10% of impressions serve here, it gets 66% of all conversions. So if you're prioritizing your search budgets and you want to get the biggest bang for your buck, and you really want to make sure that the person that you generated interest in comes into your dealership, you're going to want to concentrate your efforts here. So just to sort of sum up here, it's really, really important that you coordinate your efforts. You want to have an online video presence today. It's super important because more and more car shoppers are going to platforms like YouTube, not just to watch videos, but to actively research their next vehicle. But that's only half the battle. You also have to make sure you have a coordinated search strategy so that when those people start to search for you, you're there to capture that interest. Otherwise, you'll just lose them. And then when you're looking at your search strategy, again, you want to make sure that you're there in the right moment with the right keyword for the right shopper at the right time. That's going to really help you be like David and capture that interest that you're creating with fantastic videos. So, I think we're about out of time here, so I have a couple key takeaways that we just want you to take back to your dealership after you leave Digital Dealer. If you can remember 3 things, remember these. First, you really want to, again, coordinate your strategies. Try video. If you haven't, upload your videos online. If you have TV commercials, put them there. Make your own videos and use a combination of those videos and search strategies to bring in interested shoppers. Next, think about the micro moments. Think about what an actual car shopper is going to be typing into Google that makes them more likely to convert into a sale for you, and concentrate your efforts there. And third, just like David showed you, you have to test this stuff. You have to find your own brand. You have to know what works for you, and it's okay if not everything works out. You'll find the things that do. So test, 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 and then really track your results.
All right, let me give you, make an ad that shows who you are, and then all you want to do is use that 30 seconds to drive on Google. You want somebody to Google you. That's all I'm trying to do in my ads. It's designed to get somebody to go over Google, and then hire somebody like L2T to do all this for you. So when she tells you to do this stuff, you really shouldn't do it yourself. Don't play with the things, you'll get hurt. Well,
Thank you so much for joining us.